bar, because I'm so used to seeing the sensor bar with the Wii U, and it works exactly like it. If anything, better shit.
Wait, so you're telling me? Oh God, we're live. I better not say this live because it will make me look
No,
like
we're
a
not live
dunce.
yet. It would have said it.
No, we're live.
No,
I typically
Oh,
go
now we're live.
without people knowing.
Now we're live.
You boys.
Well, anyway, for the viewers out
What up, world?
there, this is the OGL number 8 or OGL 58 for those that have been following me for the last year. To hell with the introduction and stuff like that. You should know these bastards. If you don't, you see their names, check out their channels and content. Anyway, tonight's another random night of just bringing up whatever comes to mind.
Aren't you fast?
Hey, I gotta be. I have to be. But I'm not sure if you guys checked out the, of course, this random.
So watch this
topics,
podcast.
I did. I bring up a few that I do want us to discuss, and the first of which is how you guys feel about the recent Nintendo E3 news?
Oh, the Electronic Entertainment Expo.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, okay, we did this in a podcast a few weeks ago.
Let them know, Fox. Let them know.
Everyone was like, what are they gonna do? What are they gonna do? Some people were like, they're
Oh,
gonna go live. They're gonna have a live presentation. I was like,
if you ask me, I already did I already did a bit of an E3 predictions on my 2 coins on another place, but I'll just say it right here. For the Microsoft, it's going to be graphics, and sports with gun games in between.
Well, right now we're on discussing Nintendo's portion of it.
With Nintendo, they're just gonna. I mean, let's keep it real. Nintendo figured out how to hack E3 because with what they've done, I mean, like for the last 3, 4, 5, well, at least 3 E3s, they pretty much were like, we can spend less money doing some big ass thing and having the demeasuring contest that seems to be part of E3 these days.
Hey, Red Fox, it's fine. You can say dick.
Okay,
I was about to say digital erections.
Well, no, I'm trying to be less vulgar. So they can have less of the demeasuring contest that E3 has become, where no one wins, because the thing is that everyone's like, yeah, I got the biggest package, I got the biggest package, but then when you go home and take them home, it's like, well, you can't do shit. It's like sitting next to a mannequin. Got vulgar.
I that one actually, but I'll speak later.
Yeah, so I mean, Nintendo basically said, look, I mean, personally, I mean, like, I'm just gonna keep it real. I prefer them just to do, because basically, let's keep it real. At the E3, at the little digital event that they're gonna be having, it's all they're gonna do is talk about games. Yeah, so I mean, Nintendo, and it's gonna be for the Switch and the and the 3DS. That's all they really need to do is just tell you, okay, for those of you who are early adopters of the Switch, for those of you who plan on getting a Switch either now or sometime in the future, here's what you can look forward to if you own the system. If you own a 3DS or a new 2DS, I almost said a 1DS, but there is no 1DS.
Hey, that was April Fool's joke.
Yeah, if you own any of our products except for the Wii U, fuck you. Here's what you can expect if you have the system. Boom. And that's basically what they're going for. And you know what? I mean, like, here's the thing. I can see where people are coming from. They need to have a live show, but at this point, like, unless they're bringing out Suda 51 again, like, what's the point of doing a live show?
No, I'm going to step in and disagree on this one because, like, I have to criticize Nintendo because Nintendo is taking a kind of a laid back, like, I don't give a fuck approach that I am not liking. Like, I really they're becoming complacent. This was the E3 when they were going to first unveil the new Gen 9 new lineup. they should have done a live event in order to like make the Switch preferences known. What did they do?
Yeah. What about the other two?
Just
Was
give
that
Miyamoto
like
a Master Sword and a shield. That's all we want.
Yeah, but I mean,
I
like,
actually disagree with that.
yeah,
Contrary. To be honest,
because
in my opinion, when it comes to the days of live event, what is something that happens at almost every live event that we see?
yeah,
There's
have we?
always
foul ups?
complications or issues, foul
Yeah, have
ups.
we forgotten
One
how they
injury,
demoed Skyward Sword and it wasn't fucking working?
not
I
even that,
mean,
but
Or do
remember
you want
Microsoft
us to
had
remember Wii music?
Yeah, but it's
yeah.
still
remember
cool, man. It's
Microsoft had
still
no
cool.
audio. They had no audio on one of theirs. Sony's their shit stopped working while playing it. They had to
Yeah.
reset it, and people really saw that it wasn't a PlayStation but a damn PC.
Yeah,
But
let's keep it real, okay? Nintendo is an old school company. They're about control. With the digital event, they can control their message to a T. Whereas with a live event,
Nintendo's the best.
you might get that energy, but the thing is, shit can fuck up. And more often than not, like even if you've only fucked up once out of 10 times, people remember that one time you did. So this way, with the digital event, they can control their messaging. And I mean, I like I said, I understand where
And
people are
there's
coming
still
from.
some milk over the 2015 episode.
Yeah, these people are running a business. They're not like here's the thing, okay? Right now, Nintendo with the Switch is like when you watch one of those awesome revenge action movies where the main character has just beaten the shit out of their nemesis and they haven't killed him yet. The dude's bleeding out of his mouth. And Nintendo's the dude going up there with a handkerchief and throws it on the guy and says, "You're bleeding all over my carpet." Like they don't need to at this point. They really don't need to because I mean, I said this in my video earlier this week. What the fuck is Microsoft going to do? We got the Scorpio.
I was about to say,
console ever. Who the fuck cares? What
Yeah,
game?
you think they think they're gonna be able to do a damage to Nintendo like this?
No,
I
the
mean-
only thing that matters with all these consoles is how much. Like the only thing people care about is how much does it cost? Why should I have it? And what can it do? That's it. And at the end of the day, I mean, Nintendo has, I mean, you know, by hook or crook, they've really evinced why people need the Switch. You get AAA gaming on the go with no real compromises. That's that's why you want it. That's what it is. This is what you want. Plus, you get Nintendo games, which arguably are some of the best first-party games in the industry.
Yeah, but I have to step in something because it's not because they can get complacent because they won. Nintendo's image has been like drawn to the mud this past few last year was catastrophic for Nintendo.
Says
Like
who?
I there wasn't like a media outlet that wouldn't just stay shut up about how the Wii last year was like.
Let me ask you a question, okay? What system had the strongest first-party library of 8th gen?
I had to conclude that the Wii U, not currently, because
Okay, so I said the 8th gen. The Switch, if by your standard,
I mean the Wii U because like the PS4 is now getting very good games, but
yeah, but apparently Sony's coming up with their 9th gen console next year. But that's no. So basically, up to a point, it was the Wii U, and yet the media would tell you this is a garbage ass console, but it has really good games. So who are you going to listen to? Your wallet. You bought a lot of people bought these games and enjoyed them, had fun, or some asshole who gets paid making clickbaity articles. So fuck what the media says. If you enjoyed the system, it was fun for you.
I love the system. It doesn't bother me.
That's why I had the Wii
You're
U.
outnumbered here.
As
The Switch.
like the Switch, like Nintendo, like needs to like after.
Like, I know what I want.
Yeah, right.
Why say after the fact that Nintendo like needs to go all grand with the Switch?
Well, but that's the thing. They aren't going all grand. I mean, let's keep it real. People are ecstatic with joy about Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. It's a fucking port of a Wii U game. Now, here's the thing. Mario Kart 8 is a really great game. I think the
Mario Kart 8
Nintendo,
Deluxe feels different though than Mario Kart 8. No bullshit, yo.
I've played both of them. Mario Kart 8 not as extensively as Mario
Good, like
Deluxe.
'Cause I played
I've
Mario
put
Kart 8 on the
about
Wii U for hours, and this one
I've
just
put
gives me a
about
totally
I put
better
about
experience.
I put about 20 hours into it. Once you take off, so here's the thing: once you take off the auto drive assist, the things that make it a little bit easier for people who aren't used to Mario Kart,
Yeah, I turned that shit off.
it's a better experience. But if someone just hands it to you and you haven't played a Mario Kart game in a while, then like, okay, let me put it this way: Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is a more casualized experience compared to Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U. Which, I mean, of course, this is going to be their arcadey game. Like, they've got their huge single player experiences, Breath of the Wild, and they've got their arcadey game for multiplayer, and they can get into it with Mario Kart 8. I'm not knocking that. What I'm saying is that like Nintendo, you're going to see a lot of Wii U ports to the Switch that were great games, critically, very well made, that are just going to get ported over because people were assholes and like, I'm too ashamed to own a Wii U, which is weird because the Wii U is a great console, but whatever.
That's what I'm saying. The Wii U is nasty. I don't care what people say though.
All I'm saying is like with a live event, like Nintendo can give. I would just want Nintendo to be a little more aggressive from now on. Like show a little more aggressiveness in both like marketing and.
Yeah, they don't need to be that kind of aggressive, especially because
Nintendo is
they
doing
know
good
how
though on
to
marketing.
speak
Yeah.
something that everybody knows well enough.
You want to
Games.
know what's aggressive in business? When you have a hot product that you can barely keep in stock, not because you're stifling demand, but because people are buying the shit out of it, and like the games you're releasing are
Damn, I love my Switch.
like, okay,
Well,
can any console manufacturer brag that they have a game that has an over 100% attach rate? No, except for Nintendo. That's being aggressive.
Well, to contrarian, look, man, I understand what you're saying, and I can honestly say that yes, that was an issue with the Wii U, but with the Switch, I feel Nintendo has gone above and beyond when it comes to advertising.
Hell yeah.
Are they spending hundreds of millions of dollars like Sony and Microsoft do just to stay relevant? No, they don't have to. They never had to. Nintendo, based on their entire gaming history, has mostly sold by word of mouth about 80% of their products by word of mouth, just spreading. Whenever they would advertise something, it was just icing on the cake. But even Nintendo has realized that the only reason the PlayStation 4 is even selling is due to Sony's immense marketing drive. Same thing for Xbox last generation, where almost every multiplayer game
Fuck Xbox.
buy first on Xbox One or buy on Xbox 360 for exclusive content. Get it first here. But now Nintendo's doing it.
I got an Xbox 360, but still, man, fuck Xbox One, yo.
But right now with the Switch, but if you compare the Wii U marketing to the Switch, dude, it's more than the 180. It's a 540. It's a 540.
It's night and day. It's night and day.
They are gone so far. You're seeing ads in stores, posters. Look what they did with Mario Kart 8. Target actually ordered some damn Mario Kart baskets.
Yo, the Switch is man, I think the Switch is the best fucking console ever. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, and to keep it real, Nintendo has never really needed. They've never really been in your face aggressive with their marketing. Even back in the day with playing with Power Nintendo Power, Nintendo was like, they basically, like, especially back during the 4th gen when we had the last real console war that mattered, was like they basically were like, okay, PlayStation, you have your fucking shitty Crash Bandicoot. Oh, that's cute. We got Donkey Kong Country, and I'm gonna tell you right now, Donkey Kong Country 1 sold 9 million.
I actually like the Crash Bandicoot though.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying people didn't like it. I'm saying that Donkey Kong Country 1 sold 9 million units. It is the highest selling non-Mario.
Yeah, I'll choose that over Crash any day.
Of all history. And here's the thing: that one game has outsold. If you combine the sales of Crash Bandicoot, all those 3 of those games, the heart race was pretty cool. You combine the sales of those PS1 games, they still haven't surpassed the sales of that one Donkey Kong game. And here's the sad thing: Crash Bandicoot was made to compete against Donkey Kong, but who stuck whose foot up whose ass at the end of the day? That's
DK stomped them.
Well, let me ask you guys a question real quick, and this is in reference to Nintendo's E3 announcement. Now, we do know they mentioned Mario Odyssey, right?
Yep.
How would you guys feel? Well, first of all, how do you guys think that it's going to be similar to what they did with Zelda Breath of the Wild last year? And how many of you guys think that basically, what's the best way to say this? that it would be mostly comprised of that, I guess.
I think they're going to do like they did with Breath of the Wild, or in the year before that, where like they might do Treehouse for like 2 days, and like one day will be just devoted strictly to just like Mario Odyssey, which would be fucking awesome. And then I think the day after that they'll leave like blocks of time for different other games they want to showcase. Like they'll probably showcase Ever Oasis. They'll probably showcase whatever else. And look, we might get a surprise because they say there's the rumors that Retro's working on another Metroid Prime game. So,
well, Nintendo's already come out a couple of times.
Yeah, I heard that rumor. There's 2 Metroid games coming. 2 of them.
Yeah, they've already announced that there are actually more than a few unannounced games that are coming out this year.
If there's 2 Metroid games coming, like the rumor is saying, that means that there's one coming out for the 3DS and one for the Switch. They can't both come out for the Switch. What do you think?
Well, I mean, like here's the thing.
Only hope.
When it comes to Metroid, as long as we get one directed by Kensuke Tanabe, and
I'm down to play a Metroid game.
I get to use my Joy-Cons as Wiimotes, and because I'm telling you right now, Metroid
and
Prime
AC Rumble,
so
give me that AC
better
Rumble's nasty.
with the Wiimotes than it is with a controller.
Now, I'm going to say this. I don't believe that rumor. Here's why. Now, I know Nintendo has done some questionable things as of late just to try to adapt to the current industry, at least in a good way. However, I would say I doubt they're working on 2 Metroids, and if they are, one is not coming out for at least another 2 or 3 years, and one may come out actually
if it is, it's for the 3DS. If it is, it's got to be for the 3DS. And if it is for the 3DS, I mean, it's not going to look that great on the Switch, which got me worried if it is.
No, but the one on the 3DS actually came out last year, so that will be too soon.
Guys, didn't you?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, true that. Yeah, but wasn't it Federation Force last year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that wasn't really a Metroid game,
Yes, it
No,
was.
it was a Metroid game.
It was a Metroid game.
It was?
Yeah, it was a Metroid
It was
game.
just based on the actual Federation.
It wasn't based on Samus's adventures. It was
Okay.
the Federation Marines.
I
Basically,
didn't play, so.
if Samus is Ellen Ripley from Aliens, like the Federation Force was those poor bastards in who died, Michael Biehn and the rest of them.
Somebody in the chat, I hope I'm saying this right. Yao said that he heard one of the writers for Deus Ex is working with Retro, so maybe something other than Metroid Prime.
It could be their own unique first-party IP. Yeah.
Guys, but didn't you guys remember that the Metro, when I think it was E3 2014, the E3 the Nintendo Direct where Iwata and Reggie were fighting, didn't you guys remember that the Metroid director said they were working on a Metroid game but not for the Wii U, for the next gen Nintendo console?
Yeah, they could. I mean, like here's the thing. That game could have been moved back. That game could have been put on. That game could have been, because they pushed back the development of Breath of the Wild to put it on both the Switch and the Wii U. So it would make sense that they could have could have looked at that game and said, this is a good game, but it might be better if you release it on the Switch, because then, I mean, the Switch has hype. People will get this game. If it's good, it might start a new franchise.
So, talking about a new franchise, what do you think Sakurai's new IP will be?
I don't know. Shit.
Because
You guys heard that Sakurai was like comparing Zelda and what's that game?
It's gonna be Smash Bros. Cross PlayStation All Stars.
I'm sorry, I gagged a little bit when you said that.
What was that?
Horizon Zero Dawn.
He said that Horizon Zero. He said that Breath of the Wild and Horizon Zero Dawn are so different, but also so similar. Here's the thing. Once you play Breath of the Wild, you can't.
I was kind of shocked that Sakurai actually talked about an Xbox game.
Horizon Zero Dawn is a PlayStation game, but I get what you're saying. But they all play each other's games. AJ Numa said he played.
Oh, yeah, it's an exclusive to PlayStation. I forgot. Yeah.
Yeah,
I thought it was on both consoles.
No, it's that was made by
Yeah, it's
Guerrilla
exclusive.
Games.
You're right.
Make what's it called?
Killzone.
Killzone. Yeah.
Yeah, that is exclusive. Yep.
You know what game will be awesome? Like, I will want.
Yo, Xbox. Where's Xbox Horizon game or Zelda? You know what I'm
It
saying? Like
was Recore.
Xbox has no games, dude.
I'm
They
sorry.
have no fucking games.
Shut your ass up.
Actually,
It was
You're having too
Recore.
much fun over there.
It was
I-
Recore.
you know what?
Yo, my brother got an Xbox One and a PS4. Them shit are collecting dust.
You know what game will be awesome for the PS4 that they will be announced? Mortal Kombat 11. I really want a new Mortal Kombat game.
No,
Well,
no, they burned that bridge, man. I'm sorry.
yeah.
I love Mortal Kombat too, though, man.
That is too much
I
of a help, buddy.
I love Mortal Kombat too, but since Warner Brothers
love Mortal
is the
Kombat. I got a
publisher of that
Scorpion.
game,
I'm looking at my Scorpion poster right now.
The
and-
Mortal Kombat 9 and X were amazing. Like
yeah,
I played,
but here, no,
I played them.
I get it, Contrary. You like those games, but here's the thing, okay? Those
Look at that
games,
poster. I'm not bullshitting. Look at my poster right there. Bam.
while those games are very fun, the
Finish
problem
him.
is that Warner Brothers has a history of fucking over consumers when selling you these games, and that's the problem. That's why people are like, I don't know if I can really, you know.
Look, if it
Yeah.
comes, it comes. I'm not.
Yo,
gonna
that's
hate
kind
the
of cool
game.
how Sub-Zero's in fucking DC. Yeah, that DC game.
You
DC
mean
Legends. DC Legends.
Now, what was the name of that fucking title that everyone loves so much? I forgot the name
Mortal
of
Kombat
it.
versus DC Universe.
Yeah, you saw how he got Sub-Zero? Doctor?
Injustice, yeah.
Yeah, Injustice. There we go.
Oh, Injustice! Oh, Injustice 2. Are any of you guys like interested in buying Injustice 2?
I would if it comes out on the
No.
Switch.
No, I'm
The
because
Switch,
I
like,
mean,
'cause it came out on the Wii U, the first one.
yeah,
I don't,
but I mean,
I don't see
like
how the Switch could get the second one.
the thing is, I remember
Not
how Warner
likely.
Brothers. I remember how Warner Brothers screwed
Yeah, but you
over
never
people
know
who owned
because
the Wii
remember the
version
Wii
of
U
that
had
game.
it.
Yeah,
I said
and the
unlikely
Wii
because
U
of how they're
version.
screwing up.
Yeah, the Wii U version was the basic version of the game. There was like 3 or 4 DLC characters we never got. We never got
Oh yeah,
patches to
and they
fix
didn't
it.
have DLCs either, right? The Wii U version.
Yeah, so I mean, like, if you're gonna okay, if Warner Brothers isn't gonna give us a version of Injustice that's like you would get on PC,
It was the fucking
PS4,
DLC.
or Xbox One, if you're not gonna make it available for people who might want to support the system and get all those extra features, then if you're gonna do a half-ass job, don't do it at all. That's how I feel about Warner Brothers. And here's the problem: a lot of the times, Warner Brothers treats Nintendo consoles like second, third level citizens. Oh well, shit, we'll give you a half-eaten sandwich. But you gave them a whole sandwich. Fuck you. He's a half-eaten sandwich.
Yeah, that's the reason why I said I'm not expecting Injustice 2.
But
But yo, if it does come out, would you guys pick it up? I know I will.
I'm not gonna pick it up.
he
No.
has Red Hood, so I think pick up because Red Hood is one of my favorite Batman characters. So I think I'm going to pick it up. And
I love
mean,
DC, dude.
And
I love Superman, Batman. I love Arrow, The Flash. The
I
Flash
love
is my
them
favorite
too,
though.
but I can't. I just can't. They fucked up too much, man. Like between Batman, Arkham City, and how they basically abandoned that game for PC. They were like, "Oh, it's still broken. Fuck you. You're on your own." And, I mean, I just can't. I can't support bullshit. I can't do it.
Oh, they're not making those Batman games no more?
Well, I have another topic for you guys. I'm pretty sure you all gonna agree on. So, recently, something came out about gamers saying that games do not have to be fun.
Facepalm.
Not all of them have to be fun.
No, but my thing is this. Do you not know the purpose behind a video game console? It wasn't to, shape careers. I can tell you that much. It's a toy. It is a child's toy, essentially. And what a toy is for fun, for the imagination. And for someone to say, well, games don't have to be fun, then I'm not playing some type of game of attrition. I'm not. I don't want to come home and get stressed on the game.
Doctor, you're missing the point. Games are art. They are
Art's
not.
my I'm
They
sorry,
are
Centurion, but
supposed
you're
to
not going to get
represent.
me on this. Art is a subjective thing, and even though some games can be considered art, it is first and foremost a toy as far as the consoles are concerned.
Yeah, I have to disagree. Gaming, there are parts of gaming that are very art-like. I have to agree with that. There are, but gaming, like, okay, gaming, there are parts of it that are very art-like. There is there's a level of artistry to it. But at the end of the day, I have to disagree with saying that gaming isn't art. I would say gaming is a craft.
Said gaming is a toy. I said gaming is a toy, as in something that you have to interact with in order to understand.
Well, yeah, but what I wasn't talking about the nature of gaming. I just mean as a product. Gaming is a craft. Like you go and buy shoes. You wouldn't buy shoes if every time you bought a product from a shoe store or from a line of shoes. Like you wouldn't buy Nike or Reeboks if after 3 months just from wearing it, the shit fell apart on your feet. And yet there are people who play games who are that level of buggy, and they're just, oh, it's acceptable. No, it's not. Okay, so gaming, like you want games that are built to be a certain level of quality. Like there has to be a certain level of craftsmanship, and I think like craftsmanship once it reaches a certain, well, craftsmanship once it reaches a certain point, you want it to, like, you need that product to repeat that level of craftsmanship because you want to have a similar, if enjoyable, experience. So that's the point. Like it, no one plays games just to torture themselves, except for people who like Battlefield 4, even though that's a broken piece of shit. But hey, whatever.
Yeah, I agree, man.
You guys know I was just making fun of IGN's views on gaming.
Yeah, gaming is art. So gorgeous.
Supposedly IGN, like I saw an article that said that games are supposed to be art, and they were mentioning how Metal Gear Solid franchise is what.
Hold on. They use Metal Gear as a form of art.
Is what gamers should strive for, to tell a really deep, immersive story. And they say Metal Gear was art. They said like the prime example of artistic game.
I love Metal Gear, but that franchise got fucked for me.
Yeah, that's not art. I don't know.
But back in the days, they were the shit. You all right?
I'm sorry.
I don't think anyone really cared about the story back in the day. They liked the stealth aspect of it.
I mean,
yeah. No, I know.
And
that's what I'm talking about, Fox. I ain't talking about the story.
Made that.
Like you could threaten a lady in the first level of Metal Gear Solid 2. You could basically threaten some poor lady who was in a bathroom. You could threaten her so much she'd pee herself. But I don't think.
Damn, Metal Gear, like, wow.
And the reason people did that was because to them, to your sick little mind, and you little bastards who did that, that was fun. Like if someone thinks threatening some poor lady working at a facility who's in the bathroom so much that she pees on herself is fun. I mean, it's art.
I like Solid Snake.
That's horrible.
Twin Snakes and Snake Eater.
Yeah, I was more of a Snake Eater fan myself because I was on the GameCube, and
yeah, me too.
That was like one of the better versions of that game.
Yep. That was hell yeah.
You know what game is art?
Remember Fox? You remember Big Balls? Yeah.
You know that the Superman 64 for me is art because you need to be an artist to fuck a game.
Now see, now you're just trolling. But if we're talking about good games,
you're calling that art.
If we're talking about talent to create such a fucked up game, that
well, here's the thing. If you ever go on the internet, look at the true story behind Superman 64. It really is not their fault that game is that bad. I mean, it is, but it really isn't. But I'll tell you a game that has
they're putting that 64 games. Superman one.
I'll tell you a game that has no excuses for its bullshit. Shaq Fu. No, Shaq Fu.
Oh.
Yo, we said it at the same time. You heard me. I said that shit too. That's crazy.
I have a question because I used to own the game. All right,
I still own that game.
Now, I was going to say the Sega flavor or the NES flavor.
That was interesting.
I just want to know Why do you guys hate that game so much?
Because it's a steaming pile of shit. That's why.
Let's see.
We expected more from Shaq. You know, we expected more.
Hard controls.
So what you're saying is
Bad
input. You would play Primal Rage before you play that game.
Because Primal Rage actually, like, you can actually play Primal Rage. Like here's the problem with Shaq Fu. The controls are shit. Like here's the thing.
Input's bad.
Makes sense.
Shaq Fu, okay, the story, okay, fighting games don't really have the deepest stories. Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter are the exceptions. Generally speaking, you just want to see these people beat the shit out of each other. But
for a little,
that aside, the gameplay is garbage. Like, okay, here's the thing. Shaq Fu is a Street Fighter 2 clone because there were myriads of them in the 16-bit generation on everything.
I remember the characters had Catwoman.
Look, here's the thing, okay? There was like two characters in Shaq Fu that I actually was good with using, okay? And it took forever for me to figure out how to use them. But here's the thing: the controls in Shaq Fu were garbage. The hit detection was garbage. It was clearly the start of games that were made as a shitty cash grab. And you know who the studio and publisher were behind that piece of shit? fucking A.
So to help I would never ever think that they'd be involved in such a tragedy.
So to hell with Shaq.
You know what's cool though? That Shaq himself realized that his game sucked back then. You saw his interview?
And to think that there's a petition or Patreon trying to make Shaq Fu 2.
Well, it's actually more of a reboot than the sequel.
Yeah, it's more of a beat 'em up, like a arcade style beat 'em up than an actual Shaq Fu 2. Because if it was a Shaq Fu 2, people would go down there and turn that shit over and burn it down. People hate Shaq Fu.
It looks pretty cool. To tell you the truth, I'm liking the way it looks. I like the art style.
And the soundtrack is fire too.
Okay. Well, now since you guys just walked in, Sprite and Shepard, the topic that we're on is. Recently, there was a comment that gamers made that said gamers don't have to be fun. So how do you feel about that?
Wait, what?
Yeah, someone actually said that games do not have to be fun.
Then what is
most of them do.
Basketball and baseball and football?
Yeah, that's like someone saying that food doesn't have to be nutritious. I mean, food doesn't have to be.
RPGs, sometimes they're not fun, but I still find them interesting, you know? Like RPG games.
Well, I mean, that's subjective, but majority of the games that you play, you wouldn't play if you didn't find them fun. I mean, that's
the concept of game is to enjoy yourself.
It grabs you, you know?
It makes no fucking sense.
Now, there are games that have a difficulty level that initially makes them not very fun. For example, I'm a huge fan of Breath of Fire, the original one on the SNES. The beginning of that game is not fun. The difficulty curve, it's way too damn hard.
Really?
Once you get your first one or two, well, because in the beginning of the game, you're just by yourself, and enemies take forever to kill, and it just the difficulty curve is kind of shitty. But I mean,
it's more of a patience thing than difficulty per se.
Well, I mean, you get it. It's not like
super duper hard. It's
the gratification that you want from a game, typically speaking.
And that takes it from the front. And you're correct. Let me put it in that way, yeah.
But I mean, basically, by the end of the game, the difficulty curve goes down as your level of skill goes up, and by the end of the game, you're kicking everything's ass. So it's like it turns into fun. Like, I mean, and there were edutainment games, but those were like Carmen Sandiego was kind of fun, even though if you didn't learn how to use the encyclopedia that came with the game, you would not do shit.
Some games just have a soul slide. Like, one of my favorite games of all time is... What?
Now, go ahead.
My favorite games of all time, anybody who knows by now, is Final Fantasy Tactics.
Oh, yeah.
That game was helpful.
Mine is Final Fantasy 7, Final Fantasy 9, and 8.
I ain't gonna comment on that. I'm gonna ignore you said that, but anyways.
Guys, actually, that comment enlightened me, enlightened my entire life, because now I know that food don't have to be tasty.
No.
Like
No, all you need to do is
sleeping isn't supposed to be relaxing.
No,
Like,
no.
nah. When you sleep, you're supposed to wake up feeling more tired.
When you drink
If
water,
you're rested, you did it wrong.
your thirst, you're just supposed to, it's
Such a
supposed to make you glad.
contradiction.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the
Games are
thing.
not
This
to be
is the
fun.
problem. This is the problem.
Oh,
that
you know what it is? It's an alternative fact.
Thank you.
Yeah, the problem is that a lot of these developers nowadays are trying to push this narrative that it needs to be about movie quality and all about realistic graphics and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People are
It's
programmed and conditioned to like accept games to be just like movies at this point.
Yeah, they don't understand
it's been
basic
like
game
this
design.
it's cutscene the game.
And it's
Yeah.
been like that, and they. Oh, and this isn't new though. Remember all those FMV games on the CD?
Oh yeah. Like whenever I hear people say these games need to look better, I'm like, you are part of the reason why gaming now is like the modern take of the FMV we had during the 32-bit, 64-bit generation was because these fucking developers were too damn lazy to actually program. Like, okay, instead of programming you going through this door, talking to this guy, I'm just gonna show you FMV for it, and that's what they do now. Computer-generated CGI images of what's going on instead of actually having you do it.
Actually, Mr. Evans, I've been thinking something about what you said. If Night Trap and Phantasmagoria and all those games were released now,
Phantasmagoria is actually
game.
Phantasmagoria, the CGI is so bad of Phantasmagoria, but it's also kind of a solid like point-and-click adventure game. But Night Trap is just garbage. I mean, it's not a good game.
But imagine but from what these people say, so you can release Night Trap now as a game, and people will find that art.
No, that's clearly whoever owns the rights to Night Trap was like, look, this game is a piece of shit.
On
It's got a huge it has a huge legacy behind it. Whether that's negative or positive is your opinion. And so we're going to release it and make a little bit of money. I mean, that's not because Night Trap is a good game. It isn't. It's not a good game.
Whoever made that was not on shrooms.
For today gamers that value more cutscenes over gameplay, will that game fly now?
Well, no, it's not going to sell that well. People might get it as a curiosity. Like it's okay. It's like the last Leisure Suit Larry game was not very good, but people got it because it's
Leisure Suit Larry.
Yeah, it was Leisure Suit Larry. It wasn't a very good game, but people got it because it was there. Like people might get this Night Trap game, but it's not going to sell very well because Night Trap is just not a good game. Even with the better graphics, it's just not a good game.
That game was terrible.
Yes, it is a steaming pile of shit.
Remember the song Night Trap?
Isn't that the game that sparked the whole, basically, Howard Lincoln and Tom Kalinske getting all political about the rating system? Or was it Mortal Kombat that did it first? It was one.
I mean, let's keep it real, okay? There were quite a few games that were kind of bloody and shitty. Here's the thing: there needed to be a rating system. Nintendo threw Sega under the bus. Sega not only allowed themselves to be thrown under the bus, they bragged about, we got Night Trap, and they put it on their system. But here's the thing: Night Trap is not a good game. It's like, if you're gonna get a game on your system, get a good game, not some shit that is like.
Not.
Well, back then they were too focused on trying to do what Nintendo wasn't doing. Remember, Sega does what Nintendo don't.
Yeah, I mean. And here's the thing: at the end, like I said, the 16-bit generation is the last generation where console wars actually mattered, because after that, like, they fought each other with the games. Like Mortal, because I mean, you're too young to remember, but back in the day it was like, Mortal Kombat on the Sega Genesis was the better version, which is true. The Mortal Kombat had on the Sega Genesis had blood, but then Mortal Kombat 2 came out, and the better version of Mortal Kombat 2 was on the SNES. It was not on the Sega Genesis.
SNES had sweat. I remember they had sweat.
Yeah, it had sweat instead of blood, blah blah.
Yeah,
and you could
didn't they have a cheat code that you could turn the blood on the SNES?
Well, no, Mortal Kombat.
No, that's for Sega.
Yeah, Mortal Kombat 2 had the
the blood code.
The code was for 2, yeah.
Mr.
For the Sega though, right? Not the SNES, right? Because I had them, but I forgot. I could have swore there was a code to get blood on the Super Nintendo.
Mortal Kombat 1 had the you had to put in a code in order to get blood. Mortal Kombat 2, you had the blood, but you could turn it off in the options menu.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. Mortal Kombat 1.
Yes, on the Genesis, it was ABACABB on the load-up screen.
Mr. Red.
Oh. That's it. He still remembers the code.
I don't even remember the codes, so I give that to you, Doc.
I remember some codes, like especially for Contra.
I know the Konami code. That's it.
Everybody should know the Konami code. If you're a gamer and you don't know the Konami code, you need to quit.
Up, down,
left, right, BA, select, start.
BA, select, start.
Guys, can I ask you something?
Yeah.
What
if you don't know that, you're not a gamer, yo, right? That's true.
We'll take your gamer card.
Oh, God.
Who's gonna say something?
That's like your gamer password. Yep, you're down with us.
Okay,
I was going to ask something about Mortal Kombat. Which Mortal Kombat had the phrase like the phrase that Shao Kahn said that it's official? You suck.
You suck.
Mortal Kombat 2.
Yeah, 2. Like because in Mortal Kombat 1, you don't fight Shao Kahn. You occasionally
I was gonna say. And Mortal Kombat 2 is when you get Mr. Taunt and kill you.
Yeah, like in Mortal Kombat 1, you never even fight Shao Kahn. You occasionally hear his voice. In Mortal Kombat 1, the final boss is Shang Tsung. Mortal Kombat 2 is the one where you fight bastard Shao Kahn. Cheat.
I love that.
He was cheap as all hell. That was very annoying.
That dude knows everything. You hit him with some of the hardest attacks, and he just no sells. He's like, is that all you got?
But when does he
fool?
But when does he say that it's official? You suck.
I am Shao Kahn.
Yeah, when he basically says that when
I was gonna say
he basically destroys you. Yeah, with no
the
damage.
The only time that you can get a hit on
the hammer of death.
He taunts your rear end off.
Yeah.
Well, the hammer of death.
Shao Kahn is really overpowered. If you actually see the story in Mortal Kombat 9, that bastard can make gods his bitches.
Well, I mean that's his point. He's supposed to be an intimidating as hell villain.
He beat the shit.
SNK hard. You're talking about contrarian.
He beats the shit out of
especially when he pointed at you. You remember when Shao Kahn points at you? He was like, "You will die." He didn't fuck around.
Actually, he beat the shit. He beat
Mortal Kombat got stale after 4. I just lost interest.
Now,
yeah. For me, yeah.
Too, like, if y'all want to
and then his super kick to the chest.
Oh, it's right. We can barely hear you.
Actually, I started Mortal Kombat with Mortal Kombat 9 because I practically got into Mortal Kombat 2 weeks before, like 2 weeks ago.
I started from the first Mortal Kombat on the Super Nintendo and
Trilogy.
Right.
Yeah, same for me.
Yeah, Mortal Kombat Trilogy was one of my favorites right there.
Right.
And Mortal Kombat Ultimate.
No, 9 is the best.
Ultimate Mortal Kombat, that one too.
Hold on.
I never played Ultimate, so I don't know what to tell you there.
Right. Sprite's trying to say something.
No, I was saying my first Mortal Kombat was Trilogy on N64.
Let me just say something about that. Trilogy, I like the fact
why are we talking about Killer Instinct instead? We should be talking about Samurai Showdown.
Yeah, because
Fatal Fury. Get the hell out of here.
Because Killer Instinct was a better. I'm sorry. The problem with Mortal Kombat is that it has a block button. I'm sorry. That is just no.
Well, Soul Calibur has a block button.
I got used to it though.
Soul Calibur is a 3D fighter.
Like I feel weird without that block button on Mortal Kombat. Like if they don't have it, it don't feel like Mortal Kombat. You know?
No, I understand that.
Street Fighter has a block.
That's like Street Fighter. You know how you gotta press backwards to block? Like if Street Fighter don't have that, it's not gonna feel like it.
Tekken and
Real fighting game.
doesn't have a block button.
If you ask me, it's better.
That's what makes it Mortal Kombat, you know?
What makes
I'm not just talking about the blocking, but I'm talking about everything, like the punching.
The fatalities, like for me, Mortal Kombat always like the draw to Mortal Kombat was that. The draw for Mortal Kombat was the violence, and like here's the thing: violence alone does not make a good game to me. And that's the thing that always kind of dragged down Mortal Kombat for me was like, okay, you've got fatalities, okay, but for me, there's like the gameplay wasn't as solid as Street Fighter Like to me, Street Fighter.
I was gonna say Street Fighter went through how many games and how has it aged?
Well, Street Fighter is.
What was your favorite of the two?
Well, I mean, you have to remember, Street Fighter is still, even with Street Fighter 5 being the shit that it is, Street Fighter 2 is still, I mean, Street Fighter is still like the standard 2D fighter. And the reason it is because it is far, it just, as a 2D fighting game, it is far more
polished.
It's I mean, I don't want to say balanced, but it's got a more well-rounded feel to it than Mortal Kombat. Not that Mortal Kombat isn't fun, but the draw to Mortal Kombat has always been the fatalities and the dark nature of the game. It's not for the solid gameplay, you know.
Yeah, it was for the blood and the violence.
What about the characters though, Red? Don't you like Sub-Zero and Scorpion and Johnny Cage and Raiden?
The characters are cool, but I mean,
Ermac, Rain.
Yeah, the characters are cool, but I mean, the gameplay is not very good. That's the problem.
But you know what though? To me, here's the issue. I think with
I like the gameplay.
I think Mortal Kombat.
I gotta disagree there.
Mortal Kombat lost its luster when they had all those damn ninja skins: Ermac, Noob, Saibot, Scorpion, Sub-Zero. Smoke. It's like, okay, I need y'all to slow the hell down. Like Rain.
I was gonna say, look at that color wheel.
They came out with a lot of color ninjas.
Reptile, you forgot Reptile.
Yeah, you guys.
Yeah,
Reptile was OG.
You went
Ermac.
Street Fighter on that, and to me, that's. And then on top of that new combo system they incorporated into the game, starting with 3 or whatever. Yeah. I didn't like that. It was crazy. It was like a shitty attempt to match.
I like the Mortal Kombat 3, man.
Yeah, like I said, for me the gameplay was never.
Contrarian. You don't need to.
Dr. Figo, but the palette swap designs and moveset were changed over time. When you play Mortal Kombat 9, a lot of the palettes had their own design. I mean, Rain doesn't even look like a Scorpion knockoff anymore.
Contrarian. Look how long that took, though. Mortal Kombat 9 was basically the redeeming Mortal Kombat because
they had to reset the whole.
Yeah, but they still got the classics.
They do have the classic skins, but you have to pay for them. I mean, you can't just like back in the day. Those used to be unlocked with crypt coins. Like you would play through the story mode or do the challenges.
Actually, I didn't have to buy anything because I bought the complete edition.
See, but you have to remember. Initially, they said they weren't going to.
You really gotta buy those shits on the new one? Wow, that's gay as fuck.
Ow.
Well, back in the day, you said
the one on the PS3, you didn't have to buy them. Remember, what was it? The latest one that PS3 had.
Mortal Kombat 9.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It has Scorpion in the cover. Remember, it has Scorpion. I liked that one.
Or with 10, they're like, oh, you want to play as Goro? Okay, pre-order this shit. I mean, that's some bullshit. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's when they fucked it up. After that one came out.
Goro's been there since the beginning.
I didn't mind because
once they started charging for the skins, they fucked it up, dude. Like I wouldn't even buy the game.
But the problem
it wasn't so much skins. It was, I mean, okay, look, if you're an old school Mortal Kombat person, and Doc will back me up, and Uziel will even back me up, Goro was like a major thing, and now you're charging for a character who's a core.
Yeah, I know that's fucking gay, dude.
Hey,
That's
what I'm saying, yo. That hurts my soul, dude. That's like a nightmare.
You know what it sounds like?
I remember seeing on cell phone games when they started charging, and I told myself, "Damn, I hope this shit don't get on console. Like, I hope they don't start charging."
Dr. Feelgood was gonna say something. What were we gonna say, Doc?
I was gonna say, you know what that sounds like? They're charging for Goro. It kind of sounds like Capcom charging for Sigma.
Oh yeah, or Capcom not including fucking Sagat.
Hey, doctor, you got that NBA Playground game? Are they charging for those characters for the cards?
No, they're free. You unlock them just by playing the game.
Yep, I know.
Okay, so you don't have to buy none of them, right? With real money?
Our mind is blown, isn't it?
Dude, you can literally play.
Okay. Now I'm getting it.
Yes, you can literally play an exhibition game and get it. And if you play tournament, like every tournament's like 4 games. When you beat a tournament, you basically get 3 or 4 packs of cards.
Oh, okay, hell yeah. Now we're talking, dude.
Guys, but aren't you guys
because I don't support games that charge people, that you gotta buy shit all the time. I don't give a fuck how good the game is. I will not buy it if they do that. That's like cell phone games, you know. You pay to win. I don't like that shit. Pay to win. I don't like it.
That means you love Evolve.
But isn't that a little bit hypocritical?
Yeah, but that's a nightmare to me. Like I hope later on in the future, like all games don't get like cell phone games. You know how you gotta pay to win and you could buy shit. Like if you don't want to beat the stage, you could buy it. Like I hope the games don't get to that level. You know what I'm saying? Like on consoles.
I mean, we're kind of already there now with what's going on with microtransactions.
Yeah. Actually,
I know. Slowly, slowly we're seeing it, and that's just terrifying to me. You know.
Actually, I have to speak out against it because you cannot say one game is bad because of DLC and then defend another because.
I mean, DLC is fine, but I'm talking about like.
If what you guys are saying is to the Smash 4
paying for characters and clothes, that's stupid, yo.
Smash 4 sucks because Smash 4 you do have to pay for skins and you do have to buy some characters, 7 in total.
And let me ask you a question. Haven't you?
No, but I'm saying some characters is okay, but not all the characters. You know what I'm saying? Like fucking Killer Instinct.
I think you've heard all of us say. I think you've heard all of us say that the DLC practices in Smash Brothers was bullshit. Haven't Dr. Feelgood? Haven't you heard me say that? I know I've heard you say that. I know I've heard Sprite say that. I think anyone who's had that game can't look at the DLC practices.
I'm gonna go against you guys with this somewhat because if anything, Smash 4 is not like bad to me, but if anything, it's not as bad as the bull that's going on with Fire Emblem.
Or Killer Instinct. You know how you gotta buy the characters? That's bullshit, dude.
The reason I said that is because I have both Mortal Kombat games and the games are solid on their own right, even if you take away all the DLC. The DLC are just mostly for characters that were either killed off or didn't make it into the story.
Yeah, but shouldn't those characters be unlockable and not, paid for?
Because Goro, supposedly,
I agree.
Goro is a DLC in Mortal Kombat X because his arm got amputated and the Mortal Kombat X comic.
But here's why that's bullshit. Okay, I'm sorry. The argument that these should be paid DLC characters, because in the past there were characters who were killed off. For example, in Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance, the sequel to that, I forgot what it was called. Deception. Liu Kang gets killed. He gets fucking murdered at the end of Deadly Alliance.
By
some other dude.
Quan Chi and Shang Tsung, right? Quan Chi and Shang Tsung kill him, right?
I can't keep up with all those damn characters. They kill Liu Kang. Now, if you know anything, Kang,
Quan Chi killed them and Shang Tsung.
Yeah, Liu Kang is based.
Actually, Quan Chi is my favorite.
Hold on, guys. Let Red Fox finish.
Let him finish.
Yeah.
Liu Kang is essentially the Ryu of the game. But you know what? In Deception, you could unlock Liu Kang as a playable character. Now, it was undead zombie Liu Kang, but you could still unlock him. Whereas, nowadays, that character, oh no, we need to charge you $7.99 to get that character. Now, that's bullshit. And I'm sorry, there's no excuse for it. And I've also said this about Mortal Kombat, about Smash Brothers. The DLC for that game is garbage, but I put the blame where it belongs.
I didn't buy none of the fucking clothes. I only bought the characters. Fuck the clothes.
If you put the pricing of Smash Brothers, and you look at the pricing, you're like, this doesn't make sense because Nintendo with their DLC is normally very fair with their DLC, more or less. But you look at the pricing. I said usually. I didn't say all the time. Usually is very fair with their DLC. But if you look at the pricing scheme, you're like, wait a second. This pricing seems very familiar. And then you go look at Namco Bandai's pricing for their fucking Tales games, and you see how similar those prices line up and shit. That's where that pricing comes from. That's not Nintendo doing that pricing. That's fucking Namco Bandai.
And then you hear the strawman in the back saying, what about Breath of the Wild and Fire Emblem?
Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
Well, the Fire Emblem one. The Fire Emblem one is really, really bad. Like the Fire Emblem Echoes DLC, like.
Fire Emblem was doing good at first, but now I don't know, man. Fire Emblem 3 was garbage.
If people want to get mad at the price of Fire Emblem, here's what the DLC prices of Fire Emblem Awakening, the new Fire Emblem game, the $45 season pass. Here's what I'm going to say. Your dumbasses shouldn't have bought the DLC for the last Fire Emblem game and the Fire Emblem game before that. If you didn't
that game was
want
too
this
short, though.
you shouldn't have bought the shit. Well, I mean, if you played all 3 versions of the game, it was actually really long. But if you basically, if you
actually, FaZe had worse DLC practices than Echoes. Like, FaZe, you had to pay for you want to have had the full experience, you had to buy the one of the games for $40, then $50 on one campaign, $20 on another one, plus the DLC packs.
Yeah, so I mean, look, listen. You don't want this shit, don't buy the DLC. I mean, that's all I can say. If you don't want a company to take advantage of you,
I agree.
Don't spend money on the shit. That's all I gotta say.
Actually, to be honest, I'm kind of
there's people that are dumb and they buy everything and they don't even fucking use it.
If I like the game, I'm going to buy the DLC if it interests me. I bought.
I'm glad I don't have that problem. There's people that they got a problem and they gotta own the whole game, even if they don't play it. They just gotta have everything. There's people out there like that.
Look, I'm not knocking that. Here's the thing: if you support bullshit, you lose the right.
One at a time. Let Riff finish.
If you basically buy bullshit, you lose the right to complain about, well, I don't like these DLC practices, but you bought it for the last 2 or 3 games. You don't get to complain about it now. You are part of the reason why we have it now. So shut up and deal with it. That's all I'm saying. People are getting mad about okay, I'm guilty. I bought over time, not at one time. I bought over time all the DLC for Smash Brothers for the for Wii Smash 4. And because it also included the 3DS version, I'm guilty of it. So if Nintendo does the shitty fucking pricing move like that again, but I tell you this much, I'm not gonna buy it. I'm just you know what? I'm done. I'm not spending money on the shit because that is those prices are ridiculous. Okay.
Yeah,
you say that, and then you'll do it. It's Smash. It's hard not to do it in Smash.
The reason I got a little defensive because I really do like Mortal Kombat 9, so it was my first Mortal Kombat experience.
Yeah, I understand that, Contrarian, but here's the thing. We're talking about these things on a technical level. You have to take your feelings and throw them out the door. How you feel about it personally does not matter when people are talking about the technical merits of something, whether or not it's a good deal because of good practices. Here's the thing. I fucking, occasionally I go by McDonald's to love their fries. Their fries are garbage. They're not good for human consumption, but sometimes I like to eat them. But I never say, don't talk bad about these shitty fries because I like them. Just because you like something doesn't mean it's good. There are people who like fucking crack. Doesn't mean crack is good. Okay?
Yo, so there's a new Mortal Kombat game coming out? Because I see MK8 there by Dr. I mean, I don't know since we're talking about it.
No, that's Mario Kart. That's Mario Kart 8.
Oh, Mario Kart 8. My bad.
Yeah.
Damn.
Oh, you said.
That's actually a good segue. I did this. That's the next topic. We're gonna have to hear about the hypocrisy that. I'm right here. Fanboys are always talking about. They're stupid to buy remastered titles from last gen. Yet here you are buying a remastered game. Well, let me go first. First of all, now I'm not saying we're completely out of the water, but let me give you the difference here. Last of Us Remastered came out 1 year after the original Last of Us, and it contained no new content whatsoever. All it did, in fact, was include the DLC that you paid for in the PS3 version, but it was basically the same game that was up-res. That was it. That's all it was. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe came out nearly 3 years after Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U. That's 3 years instead of just 1. 2, it has all new modes in the game. Extra characters you can't find in the last game. Even a new function, which is the dual items.
And HD Rumble.
And well, the HD Rumble and stuff like that. So this game, in a sense, although it is a port of a last gen game, there are some major differences.
It feels new, man.
There's a major difference there. And what I would say about why I always got into folks buying remastered games on the PS4 and Xbox One is because over half the library is remastered games. The the Switch has what, two?
Yeah, but
two games.
The thing is that the two hottest titles on the system are essentially ports. With one is virtually the same as the last one, whereas the other one is this is content that should have been on both versions of the game. So, like, I can see where both people have the problem, but at the end of the day, I mean, like, Mario Kart 8 is, I mean, what, that game is what, 3-4 years old now?
Yeah. 3 years old.
It's 3 years old, and like I said,
that's what I'm saying.
Like I said earlier, the Wii U is a lost generation. Some really great games on that system. People didn't buy it because they were too much of a candy ass to get a Wii U.
I was amazed how good Mario Kart 8 Deluxe feels though. Like, for being a port, like that HD rumble, and I found more detail like on every map. I even noticed new sounds. I don't know if you guys noticed, but there's new sounds because I played Mario Kart 8 on the Wii for hours, so I know that I already got all the sounds in my brain recorded. So everything that happened different on Deluxe, I picked it up right away, and I noticed a lot of different stuff.
Well, I can't say anything because this is practically my first Mario Kart 8 experience, so I don't know what was on the other one, except like
the HD Rumble. All I gotta say is amazing, dude. The way you can feel the coins, the question blocks, it got different vibrations for everything. It's unique.
I love that the 2 item feature is back because it does add a little more chaos into the matches, and you can actually strategize if you keep an item on backup while you have a spare shell or banana to defend yourself. So,
and I like the double items now. Yeah, you got double items, you got new cars, you got new items.
And the battle mode is amazing.
We got the ghost back.
Like, Renegade Roundup is such a fun mode. Like, I can play for hours that mode and never get bored. So
no, the way you can see ahead of you crystal clear now, like that 1080p 60 frames per second, that's killing it right now. It looks gorgeous. I thought Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U looked gorgeous, but this makes the one on the Wii U look horrible.
Hold on. You forget one thing. It's not 1080p 60. It's 1080p 59 frames per second.
Yeah, well, I mean, here's the thing. On the Wii U, if you're playing in TV mode, it was on
to me it looks like 60.
Well, that's the thing. It was already 60 frames per second on the Wii U version, and it was 1080p on the Wii U. The reason it looks different is because basically from the ground up, this game, you know, they really polished the shit out of this game, and you know, it's their right. I mean, it is their baby, but
I thought it was 900p or 700 around there.
It was 900. It was 900p if you were playing it on the
handheld.
If you're playing it on the gamepad, if you're playing on the TV, on an HD TV, it was.
But I couldn't notice it because I had both, and I turned both of them on, dude. And wow, dude, you could see it.
Yeah. Wait, you see the difference. Let me give you guys a little technical knowledge.
I put both of them on the same TV, and I click back and forth, and you can see that I put the same map and everything. You can see it.
Well, I'm gonna drop some technical knowledge on y'all, and I'm pretty sure Red Fox knows this. For anyone that, and it's a shame because all these gamers that talk shit about resolution and frame rate actually forget one thing. They bitch about and cry about the whole 60 frames per second. Guess what? Nothing in this world is actually 60 frames per second because the top resolution of most of these softwares that you use, even when you put in 60 frames per second mode, is actually 59.94.
Exactly. I mean, that's why when people were like, "Oh my God, Mario Kart 8 is 60 frames per second." No, it's just a little bit smoother. It's a little bit more smooth because of the technical prowess of the system.
When you read the articles, even the articles say it's 60 frames.
The articles are bullshit. The articles are not made by people who are technically astounding. There is no solid 60 frames per second. Actually, I take that back. There is no solid 60 frames per second on modern high resolution console. If you want 60 frames per second gaming, go back to the 6th gen with the GameCube and the original Xbox. Those games had solid 60 frames per second games, but the resolution was like standard definition, so 480p. So I mean, those are your choices. If you want high resolution and 60 frames, don't expect shit to be very pretty. If you really look down at the nitty-gritty.
No, I don't really care about resolution.
I'm just saying that, you know.
Because if I did, I would have had an Xbox One or a PS4 because, you know, they got nice graphics, but I find them shit whack. I don't like none of the games besides Call of Duty.
You know what is weird? I never gave a shit about all this resolution crap in my entire life, and I still don't give a shit. It's like when people spec
Like to
stocks,
me, Gears of War, Halo,
like,
they were cool when they first came out, but now it's like, meh.
when people spec stocks to me, I am like, I don't care. Like, tell me more about the game. Like, I don't care how
Yo, I
realistic.
haven't bought not one PS4. I haven't bought not one or an Xbox One. I haven't bought none of them. Not even the first model. None of them.
I have a
And
PS4.
I'm glad, yo.
I have a PS4 for
I'm
some.
so glad.
It's more for.
Go ahead, Contrarian.
I have a PS4, but I am more for a niche. I'm more from the niche market of that console than for the mainstream market. But I never understood this whole fascination with the goddamn graphics. Like, is at the end of the day, like, if a game looks
Yo,
good,
you're cutting off. I don't know if it's me or what.
can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I can hear you clearly.
I never understood if a game looks good and has like an amazing. What I see in a game is gameplay, how it looks, but artistically, not graphically. Like the art style that he used. Does the characters of the world captivate me? Do I feel immersed in the game? Do I love the gameplay? Those are the things that defines if I like a game or not. I think, if it does, is the soundtrack good? Because believe me, a good soundtrack can help. Like,
Well, you're in the minority because the vast majority of gamers nowadays, well, I shouldn't say the vast majority, more casual gamers feel that like they believe they've fallen into the bullshit hype market of, well, this looks pretty, or it's like, I mean, because like I said, in my video earlier this week, this year's E3, Microsoft is going to be talking about how powerful the Scorpio is, and not tell you how this power is going to be used to help these games play better or be less buggy and broken. Just tell you how powerful the console is.
but as if you take a page from real life, like not just gaming, real life in general, you can see that 90% of people in this world are fucking sheep.
Well, yeah. The vast majority of people are followers, not leaders.
Yeah, and so I can like
They buy
most
the game just because the other guy likes it.
most people today are more interested in buzzwords, fads, and how much the main geek size will suck the dick out of the game they prefer.
I mean, let me put it this way. I'm gonna tell you the day I knew GameStop was full of shit. I went to GameStop to pick up something for a friend of mine because she is a huge Pokemon fan, and I was like, I'm just gonna, get it for her because we're friends and everything. And I go into GameStop and this dude's trying to sell me Battlefield 4. It's like, you gotta get Battlefield 4. And like this was after it came out and everyone knew it was a broken piece of shit. I was like, why would I want
funny how they
Battlefield
talk
4?
to you like if you don't know shit about it?
Yeah, it's broken. Like he's like, yeah, but I'm having fun with my friends. I'm like, but it's broken. Like,
yeah, no, right?
Fixing it. It's completely broken.
They try to brainwash you. It's funny as hell.
This is when DICE was coming out. Was rumored to be working on the new Star Wars Battlefront. I'm like, and it's never gonna get fixed because DICE is moving on to Battlefront. He's like, yeah, and I've had matches where it's dropped, but it's fun. I'm like, I don't care if something's fun. If it's broken, I mean, why would I? That's like someone having a broken frying pan where it's got no handle, but it's perfect. It's broken.
It's become socially accepted to accept anything regardless of how broken it is because of popularity.
Yeah.
Actually, popularity is the sole reason for like many games successes, or like how the fan base will embrace something. So a game that is not popular may be despised by the fan base, but a game that is, for having the same faults as the popular game in the series, but because that installment is popular, people will overlook those flaws because it's not popular to criticize that game.
Well, look how popular the PS4 is. I mean, Like the PS4 has sold gangbusters, and let's keep it real. For the first 2.5 years of that console's life, there weren't a lot of quality first-party games on the system. Like when it launched, you had The Order 1886 and Knack. Fucking Knack. I mean, come on, man.
Look,
I know. I can't believe that game.
Look,
that game was whack.
I kind of did an emotional discharge in a site when I said, I'm going to say this right now, and I don't care if I get banned from here or not. Most gamers today sound, act, and think like fucking mindless, perfectly programmed automatons.
Well, yeah, because they follow the crowd. It's like you watch those nature documentaries where they have the fish, and like when a predator comes, the school of fish follows each other. So it's like whenever like one fish moves, they all move in unison. Well, I mean that's basically how gamers think, and sadly, I mean gaming has become a popularity contest. Like people used to like.
Not
when
all.
I was a kid,
the majority of gamers do.
But when I was a kid,
yeah, but the majority.
When I was a kid, you bought a game, you bought a system. Well, first of all, you didn't buy a system. Your parents bought a system because it seemed like a fun thing to have, and you had a system just because the games on it seemed like they'd be fun. So I had a friend who had a TurboGrafx 16. He was the only one in our school who had a TurboGrafx 16, but he had one, you know. And look, I liked blazing lasers, and Kid. I think it was Kid Dynamite. No, not Kid Dynamite. It was some other game, Rob something in the whatever. It was a fun. I liked the games on that. I liked R-Type 1 and 2. They were fun games. You know, like I mean, like. We didn't give a shit about what was popular. Tons of people had systems that weren't popular. I had a friend who had an Atari Jaguar. Now, as you know, the Jaguar was not an awesome system, but he had one. You know, and I mean, like at the end of the day, as long as you enjoy what you have, that's all that matters. Everything else is secondary.
But you know,
I just want another WCW Revenge or WCW NWO for the Nintendo 64. You guys ever play a wrestling game for 64? Those are the best.
Yeah, they don't make games like that anymore. THQ went out.
Yeah.
Yo, you remember WCW Revenge? Oh my god! And the other one, what was the other one? No Mercy. Oh man.
I was never a huge fan of the THQ wrestling games. I like the more Japanese wrestling games like Fire Pro Wrestling. So
I was a big WCW fan. I miss WCW, man.
But actually,
that Vince McMahon bought that shit. I never forgot that day.
WCW was going to go under whether Biz bought it or not because they made some really, really bad business decisions.
Yeah, but
back then WCW
no competition
outsold WWF.
No competition has led to stagnation in wrestling, and that's the thing. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, all this shit, we're talking about all this stuff, but really, let's keep it real. Which, I mean, this segues nicely into the next topic. If you guys want to go for that.
But actually, I wanted
competition is very important.
I wanted to finish before, like, the thing I was saying before we go to the next topic, because I wanted you guys, haven't you noticed most gamers tend to regurgitate crap without giving second thoughts about it?
Yeah.
Before we get to the next topic, that'd be crazy if they come out with one of those with a WCW Revenge for the Switch, you know? Like online. Imagine that, but with today's graphics, you know? But the same gameplay. Damn, that shit would be a dream.
I don't see them doing
that. And then online too. Oh my god.
Just because
I could just picture that shit online, dude.
I don't see that happening just because WWE is making so much money off of their shitty microtransaction phone games that, like...
Yeah, but if they went back to that style, like that style that the N64 had, I think that was the funnest style. Like, the way you could make... Because you could do basically every move, you know, and it was like a simple way. Like, you hold B to do the strong move, you tap it to do the light moves. Like, it was more like, I don't know, man. It registered more with the brain. Instead of just fucking... You got to press left and then... right down and then press down something to do a tombstone, like that just fucked everything up because you won't remember that. But the way they had it on the 64, like you'll grab every single move and you won't forget it, and it'll make the fights more funner because you don't keep doing the same shit over and over. Because basically people do the same shit over and over when they don't know how to play it and when they don't know when the gameplay is hard. But
that is spamming. That's called spamming.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Mr.
You know, like if they don't know how to play, they just spam it. But the Nintendo 64, they figured something out that it made the fights look unique, you know, because it wasn't hard to play like it was like so. Because the ones that came out for PlayStation, I remember them shits were hard to play, and the graphics weren't even all that. That's when the Giant was getting big, the young one.
I never played wrestling games
Big Show.
before Barefoot Smackdown.
Yeah, the Big Show. That's when he was getting big. You know, that's when he was getting famous when they came out for the PlayStation, the WCW games and shit. Yeah.
Actually, I never.
But Nintendo 64 was the crown of wrestling, and if they bring that style back to the Switch, oh my God, it's a wrap, dude.
Okay, well, hey, we'll move on to the next topic, and after that, we'll probably do 1 or 2 free topics, depending.
Yeah.
But
Roger.
now, we all remember the whole debacle with the developer of Rhyme and charging $10 more for the Switch version, and they say it was because of well, it's their costs and things like that. Development was cost more, and we thought they referred to just the cartridges. And now even Reggie said in the interview that when asked, he says, "Hey, we have no control of that. You have to talk to them about that. Developers charge they want to charge." That's what he essentially said. We got confirmation. Well, Rhyme just came back and said, "Okay, we've heard you, and what we're going to do is, the digital version, we're going to make the same price. The physical, we're going to include a digital download of the soundtrack." And in the words of Game Idea Guy, and I hope I'm not messing this up, he says, when you F with gamers, this is what happens.
Yeah, but this isn't even an F with gamers thing. This was just them. This was just them effing up. I mean, like here's the thing. Okay, they basically were charging. The reason this is different is because Nintendo. Basically, the Switch is hot right now. Okay, it's the hot system to have, and essentially speaking, like if you're a Nintendo gamer and you go look up Rhyme on Amazon.com or wherever you buy your games, and you go and you see that it's cheaper on the PS4 or the Xbox One or even on PC. But then for the totally hot system that you might want right now or you might have, it's $10 more for the same game with no fundamental. Like they aren't adding new content, they aren't adding new it's virtually the same game across all platforms. So why the hell are you charging more on this one console right here? And at first they were like, well, it's because it's portable, which is bullshit. But that was the bullshit they said. And I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, it's like you just like you can't F over an entire consumer base. Because here's the thing: the Switch consumer base is only going to grow. I'm guessing by the end of the year it will be between 8 to 10 million. Okay. And like you can't antagonize people because it's only going to get bigger. And if you screw over people now, they're going to remember that, right? It's the reason why Street Fighter V. I doubt that the next iteration of Street Fighter, aside from Street Fighter 2, but like Street Fighter 6 probably won't sell that well in lieu of Street Fighter 5 doing what Capcom did. Like if you screw over people, like they remember that, especially when it comes to their money and value for what they're spending with their money.
I can agree with that. Anybody else know why they decided to change their policy?
They looked at the man in the mirror.
Do you guys remember the Mega Man X7 debacle? The Mega Man X7 is probably one of the worst Mega Man games ever made, and that literally Mega Man X7, and Mega Man X7 was so bad it literally killed the sales from Mega Man X8.
I love Mega Man.
Yeah, like if you fuck with a fan base, you might get some retribution later on. Mega Man.
But you know what though? Here's what I would say. I wish that gamers back during the Wii U were as vocal as they were, or as forward as they were when back then. Because think about it. Okay, Now we know the Switch is selling gangbusters. We know a lot of gamers. I'm not sure how many. I won't pretend to know, but a lot of gamers probably commented on various forums and blogs saying that's bullshit. They're charging more for the Switch version. But at the end of the day, somebody caught on and heard this, and I'm pretty sure received a lot of tweets about it. So what was this outcry when they released Mass Effect 3 for the Wii U after the other consoles received a trilogy?
Yeah, I hope we get Mass Effect on the Switch.
Like,
man, it's not coming to the Switch. Man.
No, I'm just saying, but that motivation when we knew EA was effing over Wii U owners. What happened to the outcry back then? What happened to, Call of Duty Black Ops 2 when they didn't have any DLC available for it? What happened to the outcry then? I just find it kind of funny that a lot of gamers today have a lot of shit to say about how they're treating Nintendo and the Switch or whatever. And this is over an indie game.
Yeah.
But it was major titles back then.
Yep.
No one really said shit. All they did was, man, the Wii U version is a crappy version.
Yeah.
Well, no. So now you know that it was the developer's fault. But back then you thought it was Nintendo's fault.
And here's the thing. You're noticing something as a Nintendo fan I've been noticing since the 5th gen. How basically, if you were a Nintendo gamer, you were a third-class citizen. Okay, that's basically how it felt. Like, they're in the N64 generation. You want RPGs? Fuck you. You get 3.
I don't give a fuck, yo. I used to be like, shut the fuck up.
Like, you own a GameCube? Oh, you want to play like these exclusives? Fuck your exclusives. We're gonna go put it on the PS2, and the PS2 would be the shittier version of the multiplayer. I mean, like that's how bad it was, right? Like Tales of Symphonia, the best version of that game is on the GameCube. Tales of Symphonia on the PS2 is garbage. It's not very good. Okay.
Imagine the pain of being a Wii owner and the Wii got left with so many games that came from the PlayStation and Xbox that didn't get a Wii version.
Well, I mean, the thing is like with the Wii it was a little bit different because the Wii had such strong second and third party exclusives that you could almost ignore. Like, okay, we wouldn't get every first-person shooter, but we got games like we had Metroid Prime Trilogy on the Wii, which I'm sorry, Metroid Prime Trilogy shits on every Call of Duty ever made. I'm sorry, fuck that game. The Conduit, much better than Call of Duty. Sorry, yeah, and it had online. Online wasn't great, but hell, it was fun. I mean, like what I'm saying is that. Like, generally speaking, if you're a Nintendo gamer, you're used to getting shafted, and no one ever says anything. Well, that's what you deserve. But see, here's the thing, and here's how you know these people are selfish. Now that there are people who own Switches, they're like, and it affects them. Oh, no, it's not good. But when it wasn't affecting them, it wasn't an issue. That's the nature of selfish-ass motherfuckers. Because, look, if something doesn't affect, if something affects someone who isn't even directly related to you, that hurts all of us. When you buy games that have shoddy DLC practices, that affects all gamers. That's not just the people who bought it. When you buy games, iterations of games, when you buy games that are unfinished and half-assed, that affects all gamers. So even if it doesn't affect you directly, well, it doesn't bother me. My version of the game was good. That doesn't fucking matter because you bought it. The developers know they're going to get money. They're going to get away with it. So they're going to do it again. Dumbasses.
Actually, now that you point, do you know that the Wii was really, really different from all Nintendo consoles? Like, the Wii was really, really, like, it was his own ecosystem among his two competitors, like.
Not really. I mean, Nintendo had to do that from the N64 on. Like, basically, like, everyone gets mad that, like, the N64 didn't have third-party support. And that's a bad thing for gamers at the time, but it forced Nintendo as a company to double down on their first and second-party games, which is why they built up Rare, which is why they built up Retro, which is why they built up their own internal studios, and which is why they make some of the best first-party games in the industry. They had no choice. They had to, or their systems, they wouldn't have made money off their systems. So they had to rely on themselves, which is why, I hate to say this. I wish Microsoft and Sony would learn a fucking lesson from Nintendo and start building up. I mean, they don't. I mean, they're never going to have the level of quality that Nintendo has. But I mean, at least have 2 or 3 studios. At least have 2 or 3 studios that just are strong first-party studios. And no, fuck the Uncharted studio and Guerrilla Games. Fuck them. Sorry.
That's Naughty Dog.
Naughty Dog. Fuck Naughty Dog.
I mean, I think they look nice, but I was never attracted to Uncharted either, yo. Fuck that shit.
What I meant is like the Wii did have third party.
Even though I bought it for my son.
What I mean is that the Wii had third party support, but it was more like third parties will make games exclusively for the Wii using like the Wii's unique features, because the Wii had a lot of games. Like it had a lot of libraries. Some of them were shovelware, some of them were awesome. But it was really unique. Like it had its own games, while the other, like you could buy the Wii and buy a PS3 and get 2 unique gaming experience for each one. Like it wasn't like it was an unconventional console. Like you had stuff like No More Hero, where you had to charge your sword by doing a jacking off motion on the Wii.
What?
Like it was, the Wii was just a weird yet fun console. That's all I'm trying to say.
Well, yeah,
I didn't. What you said, the Wii?
The Wii had. I mean, that's what I
didn't
said
like
earlier.
the Wii. I didn't like the Wii.
That's what I said earlier,
like
Contrarian. The Wii had strong third and second party, had especially strong third party exclusives. Like, here's the thing.
I was playing Xbox 360.
People need to realize this. The Switch is never going to get all the third party games. It's not.
Ain't that crazy? That's how you can see that I'm not a fucking fanboy. You know, which I am a fanboy of Nintendo, but I don't ride them like that because I go for whoever got my attention. Because at the time, Xbox 360 had my attention, and I didn't like it.
Yeah, well, that's the type of gamer you were at the time, and maybe still are. I don't know. But I mean, the thing is that like the Wii had really strong.
I had the regular, the Super, and the Sega Genesis. You know, all those shit.
The Wii had really strong third-party support, third-party exclusives, and that's the thing. Like the Switch is not going to get all the third-party games. For people who are getting the Switch, they're going to get every third-party game ported over to the Switch. Please stop dreaming now. Okay, what you're gonna get is maybe some decent ports of games, maybe a little downported comparatively speaking, and you're gonna get some good third-party exclusives, and that's okay because that's the thing. You have more than one console. Like you have your Nintendo console, and then you have something else to get those third parties that just won't come to a Nintendo console, right? Like for me, it's my PC, but whatever.
Well, we like I said, we each had our preference, because even though I defend the Wii U,
I go for whoever got my attention, because I started with Nintendo, you know, then Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, you know, and then 64. I liked the GameCube. I had the 64 too, but then I don't know, for some reason I didn't like the Wii because I guess it had good online, and then I liked the PS2 too. The PlayStation and the PlayStation 2.
The other two, that's for sure.
Like for me,
I liked the PlayStation, I liked the PS2, but I didn't like the PS3, you know, or the PS4. And I like the Xbox 360, but I don't like Xbox One, you know.
I was saying, we may have had some odd online, but it was a lot more secure than the other two. That's for sure.
Actually,
that's what you can see though.
I'll going to do a confession. I think the H Gen is officially the worst gaming generation of all time, because even if I defend the Wii U, I consider the Wii U to be like a lackluster Nintendo console.
Right. I consider the other two more lackluster than the Wii U.
Yeah, like that's the thing. Like,
the Wii U online was nice too. That's when I used to play SOCOM US Navy.
Because the PS2 really, that's weird, because I found the online for the PS2 to be it wasn't that good either. But
no, the PS2 was awesome though. It had Resident Evil 1, Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 3.
Yeah, but the online wasn't that good either.
Final Fantasy 7.
Yeah, but the online
for the list goes on.
The PS2's online was not good. As a matter of fact, if you got the kid,
actually, it was for SOCOM, yeah, but you had to have good online. But for whoever had shitty online, it must have been a nightmare. But for me, it was good.
But
I had good online.
But here's the thing, though: if you had the cable modem for the GameCube and the few games that used the cable modem for the GameCube, it worked fine because I had like 4 of the games that used the cable modem for the GameCube, and I was just fine for me. Phantasy Star Online 1 and 2 and 3 worked fine.
I used to play Phantasy Star 2 on the Xbox 360 until it got shut down, man. I had a nasty Agilo replica, yo. That shit was worth man money.
I mean, I don't, whatever. But I mean, the thing is this. For me, I have to agree with Contrarian. The 8th gen was the most lackluster gen, and even though the Wii U was Nintendo's was Nintendo's almost was their second worst underperforming console. Still, compared to the Xbox One and the PS4, those systems.
I like servers though. Servers are funner.
Garbage. And the PS4, I mean, like 6 out of every 10 exclusives for that system are getting ported over to PC. So it's like I don't
look.
They're not doing anything.
Yo, but check this. Yo,
I'm not attacking the Wii U, but if I compare each Nintendo console, the Wii U felt to me like the most lackluster out of all of them. Like,
well, I just agreed with you. I said that the Wii U was not their greatest console, but compared to compared to the competition of 8th gen, I still think it was the best console of 8th gen.
8th gen was like, I'll be honest, I'm going to even use swearing language here. 8th gen was trash. Like, I'll be completely honest. 8th gen for me
online started for me on the PS2, man. Ever since I've been good.
There's like three games on the Xbox One that are awesome. Dead Rising 4 is pretty good.
My first online game was SOCOM 2. I remember when the guy talked back to me, I started bugging out.
But Sunset Overdrive is also really good on the Xbox One. And then I mean like all the games I was really looking forward to on the Xbox One that probably would have made me break my vow never to buy a Microsoft console, they canceled. It was like, well, I might get Fable Legends, they canceled that. I might get
Sunset.
No. The other game they canceled, Scalebound, they canceled that. And I mean, has anyone heard anything about? Oh, Cuphead's a multi-plat. It's on. It's Xbox One exclusive, but it's also on PC.
You ever play Resident Evil Outbreak for PlayStation Online? Yo, that shit was dumb fun. I don't even know, dude.
I mean, I was too busy playing Resident Evil 4 on the GameCube. What it was made for. Like the best version of the game.
Yeah, I had it. I had that one too. I had the GameCube. I love the GameCube.
You know, like I'm not saying
I had the GameCube. I had the N64. You know, the only one I didn't like was the Wii.
I'm not saying there weren't good games on.
That's the only Nintendo I never owned.
I'm not saying there weren't good games on the. Well, that's a shame because there's some really good games on the Wii, like No More Heroes.
I played the Wii. Don't get it fucked up, Fox. I did because my ex-girl had it. You know, my ex-girl. I did play it for a while. I was playing Twilight Princess on the Wii.
There are good games on the Wii, like
Mario game ever made, Mario Galaxy.
Yeah, there was Mario Galaxy. There was Mario Kart 7.
I like that Mario Kart on the Wii too, but it just for some reason
it wasn't doing it for
my
attention.
attention.
So, there you go.
But at least for me, because I'll be honest, even my Wii U didn't get enough.
I go for whoever got the best games. Like whatever games I want, that's who I'm going with.
Yeah.
Like my Wii U didn't even get enough play time. Like HG,
I'm not gonna buy a console just for one game. Fuck that.
The game, I think the H-Gen game I said I love the most is Persona 5. Like. Because Persona 5 is probably one of my top 5 games. It's probably my favorite 8th gen game and probably the best.
That game looks dope. Persona, that's for the PlayStation 4, right?
Yeah, that's probably the best PS4 game. Right?
Well, also the PS3.
It's also on the PS3. That's not an 8th gen game. You like your favorite game of the 8th gen is a 7th gen game, is a 7th gen port, which tells you. I mean, that's kind of lackluster, really.
Like I'll be honest, I'll scroll down like the Wii U main theaters, and I said which I like it, which I don't. I don't like 3D Mario 3D World. It felt lazy.
Okay, all right.
It felt like a rehash of the 3DS game.
That's your opinion, and you're entitled to it. What I will say, my favorite game.
Freeze is amazing.
I have two favorite games of the 8th gen, and they're both RPGs, and they were both on the Wii U. Tokyo Mirage Session and Xenoblade Chronicles X. I love those games. They are fun as hell.
I love.
Yeah, I got Xenoblade Chronicles X.
It is probably Persona. It's probably Persona on the Nintendo system. I love that game.
I got the special edition.
It was made by the same team. That's why in my review of it, I called it Persona Emblem, because that's basically what it is. It's Persona.
You got the art book? Red? The art book is nasty.
I did not get the art book because I'm a cheap bastard. But
Xenoblade Chronicle X.
Yo, the special edition is dope though. You heard? Cause I got it right there, hung up.
No, I did get the special edition. I pre-ordered it. Yeah, sorry. But anyway, no, the reason I don't like. The reason I like Xenoblade Chronicles X is because it feels like the logical progression of the active time battle system that we had in old school Final Fantasy RPGs.
Look at my special edition right there.
When you think about Monolith Soft is essentially they worked on these games for years and years and years. Like it that's what it feels like, and I'm looking forward to the next Xenoblade game because I'm totally going to get it. Plus, for money per dollar, it's a very high quality game.
I'm more of a nostalgia fan of Xenoblade Chronicle 1. Like, I love everything about Xenoblade Chronicle. Like, everything that made me love Xenoblade Chronicle 1 was kind of accent from X. Like, the characters from X felt generic, really generic.
Really?
And
wow,
I didn't like how the story progressed, and the story itself was.
I pressed the wrong button. Damn it.
Well, that's weird. How you didn't like how the story progressed in Xenoblade Chronicles X, and yet you love the story of Breath of the Wild, because literally the way you get more story in both of those games is exactly the fucking same.
I love Breath of the Wild, but one of my bigger complaints is actually the story itself was.
Yeah, I mean,
I never played Zelda for the story, so it's not like I care. Like Breath of the Wild.
That's weird, because Zelda is all about the whole fairy tale thing going on with the story.
No, I love Zelda stories. Don't get me wrong, but like, I just love I like to traverse the world Zelda. Like, I like doing dungeons. I like doing puzzles. I like how you solve things.
And the puzzle solving. Yeah, the puzzle solving in that.
Which was kind of lacking in Breath of the Wild, but it makes up with the exploration aspects.
Yeah, the puzzle solving was kind of like not doing it for me in that game.
Actually, most of the shrines, I didn't feel it. It was like the puzzles were way too simple. I never had problem, except the dueling pig shrines that require a guy. Outside of those shrines, I never had a problem with any of them.
The shrines are too easy to beat, in my opinion.
Yeah. Hell, I solved the labyrinths, and that was supposed to be hard. I was like, I solved them myself.
Or should I say the shrines are too easy to cheat on? They're too easy to cheat on.
Anyway,
look at my little Zelda collection.
I'm not saying I'm just stating my opinion. So no offense to people who like this game. Unlike most gamers, I am not a douchebag with what I don't like. So if you like something that I don't like, I don't care.
I got all the Zelda amiibos right now.
Well, we'll go ahead and end it here for tonight.
Yep.
And I do want to thank all you guys for coming. To the viewers, thank you for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. And go ahead and give your sign-offs, starting with Uziel.
All right, guys. It was fun, and see you guys next time.
All right, Mr. Red Fox.
Yo, it's me, Mr. Red Fox, the owner proprietor of BS Busters. Stay tuned. I have a BS Busters about oh shit moment in movies. I've already done video games. We'll do oh shit moments in movies this Saturday, 7 o'clock to 8:30. We will also talk about one of my favorite topics thus far. Square Enix apparently selling off IO Interactive. So video game news, video game and movie news. And also, we might do a review of Guardians of the Galaxy 2. There you go, folks.
Well, now it's my turn. So this is the Contrarian Bastard, and remember, gamers, having fun is bad. You need to play games for the heart.
Wow.
One is for losers. So go ahead and buy yourself a cinematic movie experience and enjoy it.
Get the Nintendo Switch now.
Don't buy this bullshit ass gameplay focused games like Mario Kart. That is key.
Contrarian, you're lying through your teeth so bad it hurts. Just say the Drew.
It's just,
go ahead, Drew.
That made my I am using my avatar is kind of a troll character, so I am.
This is the Major Gaming Jewelry, hoping that you guys keep it magical.
All right. And Sprite, if you're there.
Yeah, I'm here. Sprite Remix. Nothing really come from my channel. Hope to change that during the next couple of months. But good podcast. I'll see y'all next time.
All right. And as always, I'm Dr. Feelgood.
Right.
Thank you once again for tuning in. We will be back next week. And until then, as I always say,
keep it gaming.
And no orange juice.
That's trademark.